Welcome to Sew with Stacy. Are you as excited with Christmas coming as we are? Well, today we are going to be making this fun and festive Christmas fabric chain project. There will be 24 chains interlinked together with fabric, thread, and Velcro. A perfect project for beginning sewers that's simple and quick to do. Let's go ahead and get started. First, you're going to need some fabric. And here I just have a selection of some different types of patterned and plain cotton fabric that I selected from our local fabric shop. I actually picked up what's called a fat quarter pack, which has pre-cut selections of different types of patterns for Christmas. It works really well for this type of project because you just need little pieces for each of your fabric chains. You will need to decide what kind of fabric you want based off the design and the pattern of your fabric chain. Next, you'll need to choose some thread. I've gone with red because it goes really well with Christmas fabrics, and you can pick this up from any local fabric store. And finally, you're going to need some hook and loop tape, otherwise known as Velcro. You'll need to get the sew-on kind of Velcro rather than the stick-on. Stick-on won't stick very well to fabrics and you can't sew it. The goopy glue on the back of it gets stuck on your needles and it causes a lot of stress. So make sure you get some hook and loop tape or Velcro, the sew-on kind, and you can choose whatever color you want. I've chosen a white to go with my Christmas theme here. We will also need a few items from our sewing toolkit. First, we will need a ruler so that we can measure out the correct length and width for the fabric strips that we have to cut out, along with the pieces of Velcro that we're going to need. We will also need our fabric pencils or chalk to be able to make those lines so we know where to cut. We will also need our fabric scissors. And again, if you're a young child doing this project, please get an adult assistance when you're using super sharp scissors. Now, if you happen to have a rotary cutter and a mat, I highly suggest that you use this to be able to cut out your fabric strips. It will make the cutting so much faster and much more precise. However, if you do not have one, do not worry. The method I show in this video on how to cut is using a ruler and scissors with the pencils. So you'll be absolutely fine cutting your fabric strips that way. And finally, as always, I grab my seam ripper from my toolbox just in case I make any mistakes. We will need to cut 24 pairs of fabric strips that are 13 inches long by 2.5 inches wide. The number of strips that you need to cut from the different fabrics you've chosen for this project will be determined on the design that you've decided for your fabric chain. If you've decided to only use one color, say red, for all of your chains, you will need to cut 24 pairs of fabric strips from this one piece of fabric. If you then decide you want to have multiple colors, so say 2 colors, you will need to do 12 pairs from each of the fabrics that you've chosen. For my project, I've made it a little bit more complicated. I've decided I would like to have half of my chains in a plain color and another half in some patterned fabric. And to make it even more complicated, I would like to have my plain colors alternate between red and green. So I know I need to cut 6 pairs of fabric strips from these 2 pieces of fabric. And then I would like to have the rest of my chains in these patterns. And I've selected 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 different patterns. So I know I need to cut 2 pairs of fabric strips from each of the patterns. Now, it's your turn to take those math skills you've learned at school and determine how many strips you're going to need to make from your fabric choices for your beautiful designed fabric chains. In the meantime, I'm going to go ahead and start measuring and cutting out my chains. We will now need to cut our hook and loop tape, or otherwise known as Velcro, into 1-inch strips. And we'll need 24 pieces, one for each of our fabric chains. So I'll just take the Velcro and put it together. Measure out 1 inch and cut. I have this great little place to put them. We'll keep doing that until we've got 24 pieces. We now have our 24 pairs of fabric strips and our 24 pieces of Velcro. Let's go ahead and start sewing. To start, we need to sew the Velcro onto the fabric strips. So grab a pair of the strips that we've cut, lay them on your table right side facing up, and then grab this pre-cut pieces of Velcro and place one piece on one of the ends of the strips, about 1 inch from the edge and then centered, and the other one on the other strip on the opposite side, about 1 inch from the edge and centered. Then we'll go ahead and sew that on. Next, we need to sew our fabric strips together. Grab one of the strips, turn it so the right side is facing down, and place it on the top of the other strip so the right sides are together. We are then going to stitch along the long edge, one short edge, and up the other long edge to leave one end open so we can turn it inside out. Let's go ahead and sew that now. We have now completed one of our strips. We need to repeat that process 23 more times for the remaining strips. that sewing to put together our fabric strips, we now need to turn them inside out. So first we want to just trim off the corners a little bit just before the seams, so that when we do turn them right side out, we'll have really nice sharp corners. And then let's go ahead and turn them. Now there's a lot of different methods on how you can do this. I tend to just use a pen or a pencil to turn through the material. It's just something I've always done. It's something I saw my mom do. Just really easy, and it's usually something you have on hand around the house that you can use for anything. Once you get to the end, use the kind of the sharpest point of the pen or pencil you're using to poke out those corners. If they're not quite right, you can use something a little sharper to make sure those corners are nice and sharp. We'll need to complete this for all 23 pieces until we can go to our next step. The final step before we get to put together our fabric chain is to finish off each piece with some top stitching. Top stitching is a really nice decorative stitch that goes along the edge of your item as close as possible to give it a nice complete finish. Let's go ahead and do our top stitching for all 24 strips. And there you have it. You have your 24 fabric chains. Now organize your chains in the way you want to be able to put them together, and let's go ahead and link them. Congratulations, you have just finished your Christmas fabric chain project with Sew with Stacy. Please do like and subscribe to our channel so you can find out about all the amazing projects we have, as well as any new ones coming up in the future. Also, make sure to look down into the description for more details about this project, as well as information on how you can find out more about Sew with Stacy. See you soon!